such great conversations today in our parenting special. And don't forget, we have a new show coming up on August 5th. It's called Take Charge Parenting. It's a show that basically helps parents be parents and try and do it as best as possible. So make sure you tune in August 5th for more information just like what we're talking about today. Okay, so we have another question for you that we've posted on our Facebook page. How did or do you plan to handle the rough teen issues like drinking and sex? I'm a little nervous about these topics, and I'm kind of in denial that I have to think about them. But let's start with drinking. Do you think your children will be pressured to try alcohol before college? And then maybe how will you handle it?
Of course, yeah.
They're getting it in middle school these days, right?
Yeah,
Elementary school even in some situations, I think. I know I live in a suburb of Dallas, and I hear all the time about kids getting caught at house parties drinking and stuff like that. Have you guys had to deal with any of that?
I have 3 kids that are grown, so I have 3 adults now, and they've been through all that. But whenever they had a question, I was always just really honest with them, and if they wanted to try alcohol, I said, okay, when you're 18, as long as I'm there, you can. But if I'm not there, no, absolutely not. And to this day, it's never been a problem. Drugs, never been a problem, because I was always honest and open. And I have relatives that had issues with alcoholism and drugs, and I told them, this is what happens, and this is what can happen. You're smarter than that, and we raised you better than that. And we have just a really good, strong network of family that have been reinforcing that always. And so we're strict on them with it. Completely.
I like that because I think when you demystify something, it gives you the power to have an ongoing conversation about it. You know, be it drinking or sex, or we're never going to have the talk because we have the talk every day.
Oh,
you know, we talk really openly about all these issues, and so you know, if they want to try a sip of my wine, okay, they hate it. They always hate it.
Right.
Stick your finger in it. And, you know, so it's an ongoing conversation. So I'm trying to, knock on wood, I think I've built the foundation that they know they can ask me whatever question they have or confide in me. No, I mean, that may sound naive because I know these things are coming. But, you know, if you can make sure that you've got that open communication and, you know, and
also,
then just hope for the best.
They learn by what they see.
Absolutely.
And there was, you know, I don't get inebriated in front of my kids. You know, clearly I don't do that. But we did have one wedding. It was my cousin's first wedding. And Dad had a little too much to drink. And because of the funny stories that go around in the video that's still out there, they learn not to.
I think it's funny.
Yeah,
but of course there are real consequences. Of course, we had the teenager who, you know, had the affluenza defense, who was drunk and ended up killing a whole bunch of people. What about you guys? What do you think about this?
I think what both Jolene and Peter said are really important is that you be honest and you let them know, I will always be honest with you when you have these conversations, and you know, making them feel that there is an open door so that they can come to you without getting into trouble at any time. I enjoyed college, so I mean, I'm not naive.
Just put it out there, just own it, yeah.
To what's going to happen.
I know all
but
the tricks.
Something else that you touched on, we have an alcoholic that's close to our family that my kids have seen the consequences of what happens when you do drink too much. Right. So he's brought up as an example often. Well, is that what happened to Mr. So-and-so? You know, is that how come he acts like an idiot sometimes? So it is important to give them both sides of the story. As far as, you know, what you said is, it is an ongoing conversation. When you're breastfeeding in front of your little one, when they ask, how did that baby even get here? How did it grow in your belly? Always give just enough to what they're asking, and take every opportunity to answer it. That's what I do. Now, I joke and say Arnett Academy is open. If anyone wants to send their kids over for the sex talk, I am very comfortable. To the point where my son has said, Mom, that's section 2. I'm not ready for that yet. But it's just, you know, giving them the answers that they're asking for and leaving it open. Any opportunity something comes up, hey, we're going to talk about this when you're ready. We're going to talk about the emotions of it. We're going to talk about how to protect yourself. We're going to talk about the consequences of it. It's not just the nitty-gritty science of it or
And I feel like if you're honest with your own experiences with your kids, they'll appreciate that and they're more open with you. I mean, one of my kids asked me about drugs, and the truth of the matter is I've never done any hard drugs, but okay, I smoked a little, you know, here and there. Yeah, I'm a professional comedian, okay, so it's all over the place. But you know, just I told him, okay, you know, yeah, I've smoked here and there, and now and then, once in a while, I still do. And so about a year later, when he went to college, he was honest with me, and he said, "Oh yeah, I tried it," and I said, "Oh,
Great, how'd
how'd that go?"
Right.
He goes, "Not my thing."
Yeah, good.
Not for me.
But do you remember when we wondered if our parents even had sex?
Right.
Yes.
I mean,
No,
that's such
I
a
saw it.
He's like, no. But that's such a good point that you bring up. We do need to be honest with our own experiences as well, so that they know we're real people that they can go to for advice.
After all, what do we have them for? What do these experiences serve?
Right.
Bad ones and good ones. If we
Right.
can't pass them on to our
Well,
children.
I sure hope that I stay honest with my kids so they do feel like they can come to me when they have issues and questions, and not sort of the out of sight, out of mind. It's not happening.
The hardest thing is to keep cool when
Yes.
something
Yeah.
that's going to throw you off
You're
happens.
doing what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
After
yeah.
the break, parents now have to deal with social media, and they are the first generation to do so, and there is no roadmap. We'll get our parents' opinions on this subject up next. Come on back.
My son had this